430 degrees Celsius, it starts to produce tar. That drops under the action of gravity and will drop out of the bottom. In the old days, they'd dig a hole in the ground and put another container underneath it. But today, so that people can see what happens, there's a tube running out the bottom, and that's where the tar's going to come out. Okay, how long have you been doing this?
Ja, jag har väl sysslat med det här i 15 år.
I've been making tar in this way for about 15 years, but when I was younger, I used to help make it commercially in the forest. We dig 50-metre-long trenches and produce around 5,000 litres of tar at a time. These days, I travel around demonstrating this traditional skill to the public and in schools.
There's so much tar in this wood, especially the roots, that you can light it first time. It'll only take around an hour for the wood packed inside to produce the tar.
While we're brewing up the tar over there, I thought I'd show you another use of the pine tree. And this comes from Finland. It's something that was done during the Second World War, using dry seasoned pine logs like this to make a cooking stove that can be put inside a tent or used just out in the forest to cook on top of. It gives great warmth and it's very controllable. And all that I've done is I've cut a cross into the log using a chainsaw here. It can be done with a handsaw, and if you haven't got a handsaw you can actually just split a log into 4 and stick the ends into the ground close together like this. That would also work. What I'm going to do now is take some bark and pop that down into these slots, which are light, so that I can ignite this log. Also put a few small twigs in, dry twigs, to help make the thing catch fire. Well, that's the stove going. You can see now it's burning all of its own. And it doesn't need any tending. It just goes on and on and on. Fantastic fire. And the great thing is we can put our kettle on top to brew up some tea. One of the other advantages of this is that if you put it on snow, because the base isn't hot, it doesn't sink into the snow, which is absolutely ideal here in winter.
All I need now are a few fresh pine needles for one of my favourite brews, pine needle tea.
How have we done then, Orca?
Det har blivit cirka 5 liter.
4 or 5 litres?
5 liter.
5 litres?
Ja.
That's fantastic. Look at that. That's amazing. This is often called Sweden's black gold. There was a time when the Royal Navy floated because of this material, and its ropes and its rigging didn't rot because they were treated with this sort of tar. This was a very important commercial product. It's too hot at the moment to open up this casing, but if we did, what we'd find inside there is this, charcoal. That's all that would be left of the wood that we put in earlier today. But even that doesn't go to waste. Bjorn, the tar.
Oh,
this
right.
is the tar we made from the pine. I think that's really first-class thick stuff.
Yeah, this is really thick.
Yeah. Well, you said you wanted tar. We'll supply you with nothing but the best.
Bjorn is heating the wood first so that the tar soaks in well. A good coat on these skis means no water will be able to get into the pine and the wood will be preserved.
Well, Bjorn, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they look great.
It's quite something, isn't it, to think? Just a piece of pine, like the old tree here, and the tar from the tree itself provide everything that we need. So a really useful tree.
It is really useful.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Great watching your work. It's fantastic.
Okay. Enjoy and have a good run with them.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
The skis will be vital in the north when I return in the winter. But before I leave the south, I want to see how the most important tool in bushcraft is made, in the traditional way.
Hey, Julius.
Hey.
Nice to meet you. I brought you some charcoal from the forest. Is that going to be some use to you, do you think?
Yeah, I think it will do a trick.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah? You want me to do a knife?
A knife.
Yeah. We'll fix that. We'll take the charcoal.
Okay.
Julius Pettersson is part of a long tradition of blacksmithing, yet another skill which still thrives here. Some of the best knives in the world are made in Sweden. I've asked Julius to make me a general-purpose knife blade, suitable for using in the bush. He's wrapping a piece of hard carbon steel within a softer metal to give the blade both strength and flexibility. Julius makes it look easy, but the knowledge and experience which is needed to do this takes many years to learn.
Julius, how did you become interested in making knives and the blacksmithing tradition here?
Yeah, it started when I was about 6. I was visiting my grandfather, and he's a blacksmith. And when I was 6 years old, he made me a knife. And you know, little boy with a knife, he was my hero, always. Yeah.
The edge of the knife is ground to the correct shape. And after various stages of reheating, the knife is hard enough for a final polish. All my blade needs now is the handle, which I plan to make when I'm in the north.
So, here's the knife.
Well, Julius, that's fantastic. I'm really impressed. Beautiful. That's how the most important tool in bushcraft is manufactured.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think there's a tradition which we both share, both in England and in Sweden, and that is if someone gives you a knife, you must give them a silver coin, lest the blade cut a friendship.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My journey takes me 1,100 kilometers north to Swedish Lapland. When autumn turns to winter, temperatures here can drop as low as -50. And it seems a completely different country. Most of the bird species escape to warmer climes, and to live here, you really have to be hardy. All the lakes and most of the rivers are frozen solid, with the ice in some places a metre deep. What this does mean is that the wilderness becomes more easily accessible. You can travel great distances across the frozen water, either by snowmobile or by dog sled, which is something I've always wanted to try. Staffan Haar owns 60 huskies, which he has trained to pull sleds. It's a traditional means of transport which has been used across